Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's podcast. I'm Lucas Frainer, and I'm the host of the German History Podcast. This week's topic is the German Unification of 1871 through 1917. We have two special guests for this week's discussion.
Hey, I'm Jason.
And I'm Rex.
All right, let's start this podcast. For some context, the German states are still loosely banded together by the Holy Roman Empire. However, there is now a new rivalry coming from the two largest states of Germany, the Kingdom of Austria and the Kingdom of Prussia. In 1806, the Holy Roman Empire was dissolved, starting to leave the states in chaos, and a massive question arose when the Congress of Vienna met in 1814 and 1815. The solution was to try and create a confederation. The states that became part of the German Confederation pledged to come to the aid of any state that was attacked by a foreign power.
During this time of the German Confederation, that had been trying to be recognized by the rest of Europe, the first great industrial revolution began in 1850. Many Germans migrated to the US in search of greater economic opportunities, as well as political, religious, and personal freedom. Because of the migration of Germans to the US, propelled by the first acts of recognition between the United States and various smaller German states as they negotiated and signed treaties. One particular case, the United States established diplomatic relations with the Hanseatic League, which are the free cities of Lübeck, Bremen, Hamburg, and the Kingdom of Baden.
A problem soon occurred between the thoughts of smaller Germany versus the thoughts of larger Germany. The difference is that smaller Germany had excluded the Kingdom of Austria and bigger Germany didn't. The former didn't want the Kingdom of Austria to be included in the Federation because the kingdom also belonged to the Austrian Empire.
This next part is very important because in 1848 there were many revolutions in Paris. Once news of the February 1848 revolution that happened in Paris spread across Europe, many felt that the time was finally at hand for German unification and to finally combine. On May 18th, 1848, the German National Assembly met in Frankfurt. However, the German government was not the best because it lacked strong executive power. The result of this was that the hope and dreams of the German states unifying died for now.
The recurring problem of the German Confederation was the government and the leaders that were elected. In Prussia, the lower house was elected under a restricted three-class suffrage system. William I was both the German emperor and the king of Prussia. Most of the time, the government was selected from civil service or the military, which meant that the officials didn't really have experience with politics or governing the Confederation.
In 1871, Bismarck launched a campaign called Kulturkampf. This was a campaign against political Catholicism. Bismarck wanted to destroy the Center Party, and that's what the Kulturkampf was supposed to do. The Kulturkampf failed to achieve its goals, and if anything, it convinced the Roman Catholic minority that their fear of persecution was real and that a confessional party to represent their interests was essential. By the late 1870s, Bismarck abandoned the Kulturkampf and the battle as a failure.
During the 1880s, Bismarck also sought to win the workers away from socialism by introducing legislation granting them modest pensions, accident insurance, and a national system of medical coverage. When the 1890 election happened, Bismarck began to consider having the German princes reconvene. As in 1867, to draw up a new constitution, the Emperor William II saw no reason to begin his reign with a potential bloodbath and asked for the 74-year-old Chancellor's resignation.
Yep, you're right, bro. The empire was founded toward the end of decades of rapid economic expansion, during which the German states surpassed France in steel production and railway building. By 1914, Germany was an industrial giant, second only to the United States. After the establishment of the North German Confederation, the impediments to economic growth were quickly removed. During this time of 1914, many German citizens began to come together because of World War I, which was going on during this time. There was a feeling of bonding because differences in class, religion, and politics began to disappear as Germans went to their city centers to show support for the ongoing war.
In November 1914, Alfred Hugenberg, a major industrialist and subsequent ally of Adolf Hitler, wrote a letter to German entrepreneurs that said this war would be bad for business and have bad repercussions. This eventually led to the beginning of the Nazi Party. How Adolf Hitler came into power. That's all we are covering for this episode.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to this week's podcast on the German unification of 1871 through 1917. Hope to hear from you guys in next week's episode, which talks about World War II and the forming of the Nazi Party. Stay safe out there and have a great day.